Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Shay and this is my 36-week pregnancy update. Hello, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome for the first time. My name is Shay and I'm experiencing my first pregnancy. I am also blind, and this is my guide dog next to me. Her name is Prim. She's probably just a black blob, but she's there curled up on the couch beside me. So normally when I do these videos, I have some categories that I use to help organize them a little bit. Last time I did it a little bit differently and I filmed throughout the 2 weeks, but I decided to go back to my original format for this update. It might be a little bit disorganized today, just because I feel like there's a lot to talk about and I don't want to ramble on more than I have to. So I might dispense a little bit with my rigid categories, but I'll try to get all the information in. So we'll jump right into symptoms and like what I've been experiencing in my body. It's been really good lately. I had a lot of back pain and that seems to have eased a great deal. I don't know if it's like just exercise partially. I've been walking tons and just been doing a lot of like stretching and stuff. And I think that definitely is helping, and doing some light ab workouts as well. But it also just maybe that baby's position has changed a little bit. I don't know if she's dropped some and maybe that's changed the pressure that it's putting on my back. I don't really know, but it feels better, so praise God. And the only other thing that I've really noticed is just nausea coming back a bit. And I don't really have any answers for why that's happening. But I think it probably just has to do with less space in there, really. And I have a tendency to get just really hungry and then I'll get nauseous because of that, similar to earlier on in my pregnancy. So we're just keeping up with the protein intake as much as possible. Several exciting things have happened since I updated you last. So I know I talked about our doctor's concerns about our baby's short femur length. I went to another appointment this week and it was the same doctor that did our original anatomy scan, and she basically said she does not have any concerns. Her input was basically, you are not a tall person and I'm not. So she was like, I wouldn't expect your baby to have very long legs, like that just doesn't really concern me that much. She's healthy looking in every other respect. And so she was very happy with our scans. So that was a great relief to hear. Obviously, I want her to be as healthy as possible. Any parent does. But she gave us the opportunity to do a genetic test anyway. And I just said we do it for the sake of preparedness, because if she does have some additional health needs or anything, I would like to be aware of that come delivery day, just so that we know what we're doing and we can take care of her the best way possible. So we are meant to get the results from that at our next appointment, which is my 37-week appointment. So we will see how it goes. Obviously, this is all in God's hands, and I do feel a lot more just like hopeful, I guess, and optimistic after having that conversation with that particular doctor. But I have to say, like, even last week, the Lord had given us so much peace just in prayer and just bringing the issue to him over and over again and just saying, Lord, like, this is in your hands, please do what you desire to do. And he really did give us comfort and he really did give us peace. So yeah, that was really a joy to see, and it just reminds us to keep placing our baby in his hands no matter what happens with good things and bad things, because ultimately she is his. My doctor's appointment was quite good for me as well, for mama and baby. They did say that my iron levels were like unusually high, like not in an unhealthy way, but they were very surprised. And they were like, are you taking iron supplements? And I was like, no. So I don't know what contributes to that. Like, I would kind of be interested to know, because I've always been pegged as somebody, like even other doctors and like, I don't know, just random people have asked me at times whether I might be iron deficient because I'm so pale, and you know, if I was ever tired or if I had like faintness or whatever, like people would always be like, oh, is it possible that you're anemic? And I was always like, I don't really know. But according to these doctors anyway, and my most recent blood tests, not a thing, which is really great. I just don't know why. I would love to know what it is about, like, what's happening. Is it my diet? Like, am I eating something that's really good for iron absorption or something? I do eat a lot of fruit, so maybe it's that. I've heard vitamin C is good for that. So we also had our baby shower virtually a couple of weeks ago, and it was so fun and so special. And I really thought it was going to be awkward because, I mean, Zoom is Zoom. And I was really worried about it, but two of my friends put it together, and they helped put some games together, and we had a fair bit of structure to the whole thing. And so I think it just made it a lot less like awkward than it could have been. It was just so nice because my husband and I got married in the pandemic. Like, all of our wedding plans got totally derailed by the pandemic. I didn't have any of my family at my wedding. My parents haven't seen me since I've been married, or since a long time before that. Like, it's just, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have had this experience. It's very, very hard to be away from your family when you have these big life events going on and you can't share any of it with them. So yeah, and we didn't do any kind of like a Zoom bridal shower or anything, which I kind of regret. I'm kind of like, oh, that would have been fun. But yeah, we didn't do anything like that for the wedding, so it was lovely to have it for our sweet little baby and be able to celebrate her with them. We told some fun stories, like we did introductions, they all shared a little story or a joke or something. And then we did some games. So my husband participated as well. We had men and women at the shower. We just thought that would be nicer since it's all virtual. But yeah, so we had, my husband and I answered some questions that our friends gave us, and it was all like baby focused, and that was really fun because they kind of, you know, my family and friends got to see my husband and I interacting, which is not really something a lot of them have been able to see because we live far away and they don't really know him. We also did a couple other little games and then had some people sharing advice. I think the sweetest thing my grandmother said is just love your baby. You can never love a baby too much. She said just love her, love her, love her. So yes, hopefully God will help us do that, to love her in the best way possible. And yeah, I'm actually getting so excited for the birth. Like, I'm not actually tired of being pregnant. I thought by this stage I might be. Give me another couple of weeks maybe. But yeah, no, I'm actually pretty happy with the way the pregnancy is going. I'm not that uncomfortable, praise God. And I'm still enjoying it. I still really enjoy feeling little baby move around. And, you know, I think that's something that I'll really miss. But I am getting really excited about meeting her, and just like, I don't know, the waiting period in the last few weeks I know is just going to drag because it's going to be like, when's she going to come? When's she going to come? When's she going to come? I can't wait to snuggle her. And like, it's so weird because I know it's also going to be such a huge life change. Like, I'm never going to be the same again. My husband's never going to be the same again, I'm sure. And I mean, obviously there's the whole labor thing, and then there's postpartum, and there's so much to consider, and we're going to be really tired. And I mean, yeah, there are lots of challenges, but I'm also just so excited to hold her and to feel her little hands and feet and see her little face and see what color her hair is, and I don't know, so just getting really excited for all of that. We acquired a lot of things at our baby shower, and I can't really share them all now, but there were a few little things. Oh my word, tell me this is not the cutest thing ever. My friend got us a bunch of little clothes. This is a little sleeper, it has unicorns on it, and on the feet are little unicorn faces. I died when I saw this. I was like, this is so adorable. And there's like a little horn and little ears. So I think I've said this before in my videos, I love the baby clothes that have texture to them, or just clothes in general that are like that, because it just makes it easier for me to be able to tell them apart. So that's my blind parenting tip of the week. I know I'm doing this out of order today, But my blind parenting tip of the week is to get yourself clothes, if you can, that have little fabric detail like that, or that have different textures to them, because it makes it so much easier to match clothes, because you can remember, oh yes, this is the pink sweater versus this is the purple cardigan versus, you know, it just makes it so much easier. And I really want to have a child that looks nice. I don't want her to be in mismatched clothes all the time. So yeah, I think it is a helpful little thing to do. So other things we've been doing to prepare, we have started putting together kind of a little recipe book full of recipes that are just quick, simple things using ingredients that are not hard to come by and that we generally have in the apartment, because I just want to have things ready, particularly for my husband, so that he doesn't have to think too much. Like when he's got his first 2 weeks off, after we have the baby for his paternity leave, he'll probably be doing a lot of cooking. So I was just like, I just want to make this easy for him and give him like some options so that he doesn't have to rack his brain, and we can still eat nutritious things. We're not just eating like takeout or spending loads of money on expensive food. So that's something I've been doing. I've continued organizing. I've put away a load of clothes and things that are for later ages, because I just don't want to be confused by them. So the only clothes that I really have out are newborn or 0 to 3 month clothes, and those are all accessible to me. But all the others I put away, and I just said, I'll look at these in August or earlier if she grows really fast. We had a chat with the midwives at the hospital last week, and we just discussed what's going to happen with Prim. So they are very, very on board. I am so grateful for this. They are so on board with having Prim in the hospital, with her being present even during labor and delivery. And I was shocked by that, just because I've definitely had issues in the past where people have been less than pleased to have a dog in a medical environment. But they have been just like totally on board from the very beginning, and it's been great. Anyway, so we had a chat with them, and we just let them know kind of what our expectations are for how labor will go, and like what we plan to do with little Primmy. And basically my thing is, I don't really want my husband to have to deal with taking care of me and Prim. When you're in the hospital, it's a little bit tricky to get a dog outside. Like, I mean, even just getting out of the hospital a lot of the time is like kind of a task. It'll take a while. You might have to go find some grass somewhere, and it can just be tricky. And particularly with my dog Prim, so I think certain dogs are better suited for maybe coming to the hospital for labor than others. But my particular doggie, she is very, very loyal, and she's a little bit high strung. So when she is in situations where I am less than well, she has a tendency to get very clingy and very, very stubborn. So like, I have been to the hospital before, and I've had people try to take her outside, and she just would not go. She wouldn't leave my side, basically. Like, she would go with them to the door, and then she would plant her feet and refuse to leave. And she certainly would not go to the bathroom. So I just don't think it would be the most ideal environment for her sake. I don't think she would really enjoy it. I think she'd be kind of stressed out. So we are probably going to have her stay with a family member, perhaps one of our family members that has little doggies, so that she can be playing and distracted and having fun and not be thinking about the fact that she's not with us. So that's kind of our plan. But we also chatted with the midwife about like, what if something unexpected happens? What if I have a C-section, or what if I have to be induced and I end up in the hospital for like a full week? And so in that situation, we talked about the potentiality of Prim coming to the hospital then and joining me and baby after labor and delivery. So that is something that we are considering, but it all depends on how things go. Another thing I've started doing is drinking raspberry leaf tea. I meant to start this earlier. I think you can start at 28 weeks, but I was just feeling a little bit uncertain about it, and then I did my research and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like perfectly safe. I had always heard it could induce labor and it just scared me. So anyway, whenever I actually looked into it, apparently what it does is it tones the uterus, supposedly, and can make your labor a little bit faster, maybe, or at least make your contractions a bit more effective and consistent. So I started drinking that. I'm only drinking it once a day at the moment. I think you can increase to twice a day and even 3 times a day by the end of the pregnancy. I don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll see. But I'm actually really enjoying it. It tastes delicious. So the other thing that we acquired this week was our bassinet. So this is just the top part. There's a wooden frame that it sits on top of, or I guess into. But this is beside our bed now, and it's just so weird to see it because everything else, like all of our other baby stuff, we've kind of just tucked away because our apartment is very small, so we don't have space for things to be lying around. So we don't really see a lot of the baby stuff most of the time right now. Whereas like this can't be tucked away, like it's right beside our bed. So it's just this constant reminder of like, oh, baby is coming soon. And so yeah, we're really, really thrilled. So like I said, this is just the top part of the bassinet. I want to see if I can turn it around because oh, my bump's in the way. Ah! Okay. So hopefully you can see this. This is the front. There's like kind of a netted like window thing, but on both sides of the front of it there are zippers. You can zip those down and pull down the entire side of the bassinet so that you don't even like have to get out of bed or move at all to grab baby out of the bassinet. You can just pull her over, feed her, and then put her back. So this is, I guess, a co-sleeping crib is maybe what you would call it, a co-sleeper. It's currently got our baby llama in it. So we're very happy to have that in the apartment now. And yeah, I feel like that's like kind of all the updates. I don't want to ramble on too long, and I feel like I already have for a long time. Oh, one more thing. I talked a lot about my mother and whether she would be able to come to visit us when baby comes. It's still up in the air, of course, because COVID is just that way. However, it does look like she's going to be able to come. She's got her vaccine and they just require proof of vaccine for her to be able to come in the country. So huge praise the Lord for that. Like, we're just so thrilled to be able to have her, hopefully, God willing. And yeah, but the country is opening up a little bit in general anyway now, so that's very exciting. But other than that, we're really just enjoying these last few weeks of pregnancy. My husband and I are taking lots of walks together, and we're trying to see people in the next couple of weekends that, you know, just to hang out with them and check in on them and be able to spend some time with them before we're feeling very busy and overwhelmed. So yeah, we've been enjoying that, and it's just been a really precious, wonderful season, even with the worries and the fears and, you know, feeling nervous about parenthood and feeling scared about certain health things and stuff. But yeah, God has been very good to us and we're grateful. So that's it for today's video. I suspect that we will still have at least one more update, probably two. Although I will say I would totally love it if she came around 38 weeks, but it's not my instinct. My instinct is that she's going to come shortly after 40. So we'll see, but either way, thanks for joining me for this video, and I'll see you next time.